Hello, my name is Osvaldo from Rio Grande. Let's learn together the memory verse found in the Jeremiah 17:10. I, the Lord, search the heart and examine the mind to reward each person according to their conduct, according to what their deeds deserve. God bless you.
The history of Israel is marked by a constant lesson. Faithfulness to God determines victory, and disobedience inevitably leads to defeat. In the book of Joshua, this truth becomes evident in one of the most painful episodes for the people, the defeat at Ai. After the miraculous triumph at Jericho, Israel seemed invincible. However, a single act of disobedience was enough to break the bond of divine protection. What should have been a new conquest turned into a bitter humiliation. Joshua 7 presents the drama of covenant breach. It was not an external enemy that defeated Israel, but a more dangerous one, the hidden sin within the camp. While the Israelites trusted in their strength and strategy, they forgot that their true strength was in the presence of God. No wall or army could stop them when they walked in obedience, but a single rebellious heart was enough to weaken the entire nation. This lesson reminds us that the greatest spiritual defeats do not come from the outside world, but from the internal cracks of faithfulness. When the heart turns away from God, the covenant is broken. And just as Israel suffered because of Achan's sin, every community of faith suffers when one of its members silently holds back what should have been surrendered to the Lord. Welcome, my name is Augusto Palacios, and this is Studying the Lesson. Sunday, November 2nd. Covenant Breach. Joshua chapter 7 opens with a revelation the people did not know, but the children of Israel committed a trespass regarding the devoted things. For Achan took of the devoted things, so the anger of the Lord burned against the children of Israel. Josh 7:1. What is striking is that the story does not begin by describing the battle, but the hidden sin. Before narrating the military defeat, the Bible shows us the spiritual cause. This order is not accidental. The fall at Ai is not explained by strategic weakness, but by a moral breakdown. God had commanded that everything obtained in Jericho be dedicated exclusively to Him. It was a sacred offering that symbolized the acknowledgement that victory came from heaven, not from human effort. But Achan, ruled by greed, took what did not belong to him. What seemed like a small act of disobedience became a poison that contaminated the entire people. In biblical language, sin is never a merely individual matter. It affects the whole body of God's people. Joshua 7 verse 11 expresses it forcefully: Israel has sinned. They have broken my covenant. God does not say Achan has sinned, but Israel has sinned. In the economy of the kingdom, one person's sin wounds the communion of all. That declaration reveals the corporate nature of the covenant. Each member was responsible for preserving the holiness of the people. In other words, personal disobedience has collective consequences. Achan's sin was more than a failure of obedience. It was a betrayal of divine trust. In the Hebrew text, several verbs are used to describe his action. He transgressed, took, stole, lied, and hid. Each word deepens the gravity of the act, as if Scripture wanted us not to underestimate the destructive power of hidden sin. It was not a simple impulsive mistake, but a chain of deliberate decisions that ended up separating Israel from God's favor. To Achan's disobedience, another serious error was added: the people's overconfidence. Believing Ai to be a small city, they did not consult the Lord before attacking it. What seemed like a minor skirmish turned into a shameful defeat. The combination of hidden sin and spiritual self-reliance produced the tragedy. The same happens today. When trust in God is replaced by self-confidence, defeat becomes inevitable. The account reminds us that spiritual success does not depend on numbers or talent, but on communion. Israel lost not because its enemy was strong, but because God was not with them. The moment the people broke the covenant, they also lost divine covering. This reality transcends ancient history. Every believer who keeps sin hidden or acts without consulting God repeats, in essence, the error of AI. However, even in the midst of defeat, the text reveals hope. God does not abandon his people, though he corrects them firmly. After the failure, Joshua fell before the ark, and the Lord responded with mercy, showing him the cause of the problem and offering a path to restoration. In divine language, judgment is always accompanied by grace. God's discipline does not seek to destroy, but to heal. Every Christian community faces the same challenge: maintaining the purity of the covenant. It is not about human perfection, but about transparency before God. The greatest danger is not the external enemies who criticize us, but the internal Acans who hide what should have been surrendered to the Lord. Only when sin is confessed can victory return. The breach of the covenant teaches us that the greatest enemy of God's people is not outside, but within. The walls of Jericho fell because the people walked in obedience. The gates of Ai held because someone chose to walk in disobedience. The same God who gives victory also withdraws his hand when the heart turns away from him. But even in the face of failure, the story does not end in defeat. God always offers a new beginning to those who humble themselves and confess their sin. The covenant can be broken by disobedience, but it can be restored by grace. And when the people once again align their lives with the divine will, the enemy's walls fall again. The lesson of Ai remains valid today. Faithfulness brings victory, disobedience brings ruin, but confession brings redemption. For the God who fought for Israel still fights for his people, when his people choose to walk once more under his covenant. I invite you to follow me on my social networks: Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and X. From Sunday to Friday you will find 2 daily questions posted at 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. They are meant to help reinforce what we learn and to open space for dialogue. Your comments are very valuable and always enrich our study. Be encouraged to participate and share your thoughts with our community.